The IMBA Cup is getting close to the final. We're down to 2 undefeated players. We got Luon and Voodoo. They are going to be playing each other next. See who's going to the final. There are still some players left in the losers brackets. Now we're going to just see how these two players got here. We'll first look at all their games really quick. This is just basically going to be looking at icons at high speed, and then we'll also look at the very end how each player died. To here, this is Funkoff versus Voodoo in the first round one of the first games of the tourney. You can see here Funkoff with the ACU is very aggressive, pushes into Voodoo's base, and Voodoo makes him run into a PD and kills him. Now you can see here up close, Funkoff realizes he got a little too close to a PD, and then you can see the tanks from Voodoo blocking Funkoff's path, and all the UEF already just piling it on. So there goes Funkoff. In round one, Luon faced Freshy. Same map. Very aggressive early bomber from Luon. Basically won the game in the first couple of minutes. The rest is Freshy basically surviving. You can see the bombers from Luon still doing damage. The middle was completely controlled by Luon. Freshy did try to get that top corner, but way too much eco and way too many units. As you can see, this game progresses. The map is completely controlled by Luon. Now Freshy did make his way back to the base trying to defend, and he did try to fight. Actually almost made his way back, but way too much tech. Had some T2 come out for Luon, and some T2 PDs as well, and not much that can be done. We also saw some drops to take over Freshy's expansion, and that constant pressure. It was actually surprising how long Freshy survived in this one, but eventually the T2 push, you can see it up close here. Yoshua is coming in, pushing Freshy back into his base. You see total air domination from Luon, and then focus fire on Freshy's ACU, and there it goes. In the second round, Voodoo faced Eisen on another desert map, and here you'll see it'll be a very much Tech 1 spam right into each other in this one. Both players doing some early scouting, some raiding. We see some bombers now from Eisen. And now the two ACUs meet each other on the left side. And really one funny thing in this game, they played very similar, except that Voodoo got a little more eco, a couple more mass extractors, which translated into more tanks, and eventually Eisen retreated in the wrong direction. Here we see Eisen. Doesn't seem like it's such a bad situation, but such a large Tech 1 spam from Voodoo. Eisen starts retreating into a corner, and Voodoo just sort of chased him down. You can see here, out of nothing, Eisen finds himself losing the game. First two maps pretty much desert. And now we see Luon versus Zoc. This is a very intense fight on the exact same map. Two very evenly matched players. Zoc is still in this tourney in the losers bracket. We just might see him still win this one. See the early rating from Luon. They were both UEF in this one. You can actually see a light assault bot make it all the way around the map for Luon. Still surviving in the top corner. See very aggressive ACU from Zoc, but he did not meet Eisen's fate in this one. See very aggressive ACU from Luon as well. He did get the gun. Zoc survives. Gets some T2 PD up front of his base, but we saw Luon play extremely wide in this one. Just pulling him apart, avoiding the T2 PD in the middle. And we also saw some mobile missiles to counter the PD from Zoc. And really Luon always had better tech in this one, and had map control, and still going really wide. And eventually Zoc just calls it good. You can see here he's got the gun in his ACU trying to prevent a very massive force coming in around his base. You can see on the other side same thing happening with some Titans coming in, and Zoc realized this is a basically a hopeless situation. He was planning on making some T2 air at this point, but throws in the towel. And round 3, Voodoo and Geek. This is a pretty intense fight here on De Rosas, a map with a whole bunch of mastery claim. And Geek here played as Aeon. This is Aeon on Seraphim, or UEF, sorry. If it's Voodoo, it's UEF. Now you can see early on pretty tough battle for map control, but Voodoo seems to have gotten the better of it. See some secret bases for Geek. Pretty intense fight in the bottom expansion base. The top completely belongs to Voodoo. And in terms of Tech 1 spam, Voodoo definitely had the better of this game. And I can see here Voodoo actually kills Geek's expansion. Has total control of the map, and you can see the stream of units just rushing into Geek's base. Geek did get T3, some Harbies, as well as T2 gunships, which did get a lot of kills for him. But he did have a lot of units dying directly in his base, and this constant pressure. Probably could have survived, except that Voodoo had the benefit of the entire map, this entire eco. He could do whatever he wanted, and Geek was just trying to survive. Some T2 bombers came in from Voodoo. Of course, Voodoo here was Seraphim. It was right the first time. Of course, the Harbies from Geek were extremely effective, but not good enough. Now we can see here a lot of dead units in Geek's base. Now you can see this final push. Geek taking on a very massive force, which is running over his base. Not much that you can do at this point. Should also see some Strat bombers come in. Yeah, there comes the Seraphim Strat bomber. Kills off a lot of his own units there, Voodoo. And there goes Geek. And of course, probably the game of the tourney so far, Luon versus Stag Rock and De Rosas. Two extremely good players in this one. Of course, Rock is still in the tourney in the losers bracket. He's going to take on Curry. That should be a pretty exciting game. And we just might see Rock versus Zoc in the losers tourney to face the loser of Luon Voodoo. Of course, probably shouldn't count out Curry and Geek. Might give us some surprises. So in this game, you can see here Rock takes over the top expansion pretty quickly. The bottom seems to belong to Luon, although he hasn't really put too many units there. Air completely belongs to Tag Rock, and he has been doing drops in this game throughout the game. And you can see the spam from Rock is just pretty epic. So many factories. And you can see the red is just going to take over the map. Just way too many units being produced by Rock, and they'll just bleed all over the map. And this one we will see T3. The Thams from Luon are going to come in and push Rock back a little bit. That will have an effect, and Rock of course saw that he just won the map, but he's getting pushed back really hard. And those Thams all had like 50 kills each, 50 or more. Still, one thing about this game, notice at Tech 1, total air domination by Rock, and he actually used that, as you can see here, dropping off T3 units into Luon's base, taking out mass extractors. Very nice drops from Rock, and total map control here. We still see some raiding T3 from Luon, but now Rock has T3 of his own and he's able to counter. And of course, now we did see a chicken being produced by Luon here, going down the middle of the map, killing quite a few units, making his way toward Rock's base, but Rock will have enough time to produce a chicken of his own, plus some T3 shields. At this point we did see some T2 bombers come in from both players, and you can see those drops from Rock still attempting, and some successful. I see some drops from Luon as well. The two chickens killed each other. And T3 air from Luon at the end of this one. Some strats coming in. Really caught Rock by surprise. There was really no excuse at this stage of the game not to have shields around the ACU and to be killed by strat bombers. That was really the fact that Rock had way too many units all around his ACU. He probably couldn't throw down a few T2 shields. He already had massive amounts of mobile T3 shields. Should have definitely saved his ACU. But you can see here Rock basically making a mistake at the end. And Luon really steals this one. And so we're going to see Luon versus Voodoo at the end.